Hey, it's Sean here from Virtually HQ. I'm down here at the Dock Library in Melbourne. This is a fairly new library and it's my first time here, and it's amazing. The reason I'm here is to find a new venue for us to meet up with the other people in virtual reality and also introduce new people to it. So what I think about when we're looking for a new meetup space or to create a hub for virtual reality in Melbourne, I split up the criteria into needs and wants. So what we need is it needs to be cost effective. We need the space to do it. We need the hardware. We need to make sure that it's open at the right time, and it needs to be safe. And what we'd want is a nice aesthetic that aligns with virtual reality and technology. We want a good location that's easy to get to by public transport, or after work you don't want to travel too far. A sense of community around it. So this place, it's got a maker space and it's a library and there's a good sense of community here. Amenities, so it needs to have toilet and cafe, food nearby, and it needs to be able to accommodate growth in the long term. Right now our meetup is around 5 to 10 members, and sometimes even just one person turns up. But ideally, I think that in a city the size of Melbourne, around 2 million people I think in this city, there's so much potential for us to grow this community and bring more awareness of virtual reality to the public, as well as really encourage the local devs to connect, build and share what they're working on. Alright, so first, just going into depth on those needs and wants, the cost. As a community in Melbourne, we don't have any official organisation, so the options are to incorporate as an association, which has a minimal fee associated with it. To incorporate as an association, you need at least 5 people, and you need to designate office bearers and hold meetings, submit minutes, have an AGM, things like that. But if we were to do that, incorporate as an association, then a few doors open. So we could apply for free or cheaper rent of public spaces, such as halls, meeting spaces. We could apply for grants from the 3 levels of government, so that's local, state and federal. And it's all completely transparent, so it's not for profit, and anything that we do take as tickets, ticket sales, or from selling merchandise, it just goes into the association's bank account, and its purpose is to be reinvested into the association and its members. So that means we can charge a membership fee and sell merchandise and sell tickets, but the way we use that money is fully transparent and agreed on by the committee, and even submitted to by the secretary to the government, something along those lines. If we were to start an organisation as a business instead, we'd have to look at being either there are 3 structures we could go with. There's sole trader, a partnership, or a company. For what we're doing, I definitely recommend doing the incorporated association. There are so many more advantages for this sort of initiative. Right, so the space that we need for virtual reality is, it would be great to have space for seating, so that if we ever did a talk, then there's seats for up to 50 people, some kind of stage. And this dock library, they downstairs they do have a little corner where it looks like they do performances throughout the week. So that's one option, but I don't think it's ideal. There's also a thing called the terrace, which is a large space with fake grass, and they play table tennis there. But it's also got a TV in there, I think. So that might be a good space to do a larger event. And then for more regular events, if we knew the number of people that are coming, we can just book out a meeting space. The hardware. This is a topic. Getting hardware. I've just remembered that I shouldn't expose the lens, but lucky I've got my cardboard in there, so it's all good. Hardware for a space like this. At the last meetup, we said that to have the Vive or the Rift or the Index set up, we would need a powerful computer, several of them, and the only way to make that viable is to have it rented out during the day. Let other developers use it. Now, that's expensive to start. It's also expensive to manage. It's high risk due to potential damage or theft. And so my strong recommendation is that we don't have PCs on site. We don't have those tethered headsets. I strongly recommend using the Quest, and I would like to pitch to this library to acquire a few Quests, because it's a great piece of hardware, and I'll be investigating that in future. If someone does want to demonstrate a Vive or Rift or Index experience, I would recommend bringing it on their own laptop, or maybe someone in our community has a powerful laptop that they're happy to bring along to every meeting. I just don't think we're going to have, RTX 1080s or whatever sitting at a library like this, where the general public have no use for that kind of a computer. This place they do manage hardware, so they've got 3D printing, they've got sewing machines, they've got sound recording equipment, musical equipment. There's quite a lot here, and so for me, I see a big gap, and that's virtual reality. They definitely need to invest in some new virtual reality headsets. Okay, so we also need to, the fourth need is time. This library closes at 7 during the week and 5 on Sundays, and our meetups typically start at 6:30, so unless there's some other arrangement, then we're not going to fit into the schedule for the normal space booking for this library. So that's something we can talk to them about. But potentially we're looking at events running from 5 to 7, and it being in Docklands, it's not right in the middle of the city, so that's something we need to think about. The fifth need is safety, and this place feels extremely safe. It's a fairly new building, plenty of security cameras around, strong community, family presence. This place is great. I think it's a really nice, safe place to come. I probably wouldn't want to be around here at midnight, but at 5, 6, 7 p.m, I think it's great. And in summer, like now the sun's coming out, I think it'll only get better. So I'll just check that I'm still recording. Yep. Okay, so now on to the wants, and this is where I think this library shines. The aesthetics. So why would I want a virtual reality meetup to have a good aesthetic? Why would I want the building to look nice? Well, it's important for the public and the morale of the people attending, right? You don't really want to go into a basement or a typical office building. When you're talking about the future of technology and entertainment, it would be great to have an environment that feels modern, clean, and spacious, I suppose. And this library has that. It's also got a very strong creative vibe down here. A lot of university students. There's a small library here, seems to focus a lot on art and design. So I think this really 5 stars on the aesthetic front. And it's on the dock. Marvel Stadium is just down there. There's a few restaurants around, but you can see the bridge and the Ferris wheel. This is a lovely location. I would, if the meetups grow, I can see us bringing things like the Quest outside into the shaded areas one day. Okay, so we would want the location to be easy to get to, and that's where this library really falls down. It's at the Docklands, which is pretty much, if you want to go by public transport, I definitely recommend getting on the tram from Spencer Street Station. Southern Cross Station. Yes, I'm old. And coming by car, I think that will be fine because it's in the Docklands. It's busy getting here when there's a football match on, but during the rest of the week, I think it's pretty good. The community vibe here is awesome. The staff seem to be really, really friendly and helpful and very forward-thinking. There are posters around the whole of the library on all of the workshops and meetups and things that are going on here. I think this community looks to be really, really, really awesome. The amenities, so maybe in other meetups or wherever you go to a meetup, you want to make sure that you have access to toilets, to food and drink, and this place has that. It has a cafe downstairs. I'm not sure it'll be open during our meetups. There's not a lot of restaurants around here, so not full marks on amenities, but what's inside the building is really good. And then the potential for growth in the long term. Like I said, there's lots of open spaces around here, and if virtual reality through the Quest keeps on growing, then I can definitely imagine this library having more Quests on hand or local companies demoing their product via Quest around here. Alright, so that's my wrap up of the Dock Library. I definitely think that the Melbourne VR community should adopt this place, and I'll be in touch with the library to see what we can do. And by going over the needs and wants for a meetup space in general, I think that all around the world you can use these 10 needs and wants to assess where you might want to hold your meetup. If you want any help or share your progress on setting up your own virtual reality meetup, just drop into the Virtually HQ Discord channel or follow at Virtually HQ on all the socials. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.